How long is it gonna... Okay, there we go. Now we got a nice little sound check.
We got a sound
We
check.
got a sound check in theory. I gotta wait for it to buffer up to our current pace.
Oh, we're playing. Oh, I should mute.
Oh, your laptop's not muted, so I don't need my headphones. Nope. I see.
Yeah, we got noise.
We got noise? Alright. We're noisy.
We sure are noisy.
Alright. Hello everyone and welcome back to Roll Out of Bed, where no matter what time it is,
We just woke up.
I'm your game master. You good?
I'm just laughing.
Okay, I'm your game master Dev.
I'm your player Ian.
And we are playing, as usual, the GURPS campaign, Brave New World. As usual, as I just said, we are using... Oh, it's a morning.
We're giggling.
Yo, you're finally in summer now. It is a morning for you, isn't it? Okay.
I did wake up at 9 though.
All right.
I
know you messaged me and I got the message. I just didn't open it. Yeah, anyway, this is the intro. Okay.
Oh, it sure is something, baby.
As usual, we are using the system GURPS. GURPS, if you don't know, you can check Ian's character sheet in the description. And how GURPS works is it's a 3-dice system that's 3d6, not like, what's the other one? D&D with a d20. You also use other dice in D. You know, D&D. I'm stopping about D&D now. This is a ramble. Yeah. You want to roll under with the 3d6. If you look at Ian's character sheet, you can see the skills and things, how the numbering system works. The only time you want higher numbers is damage rolls and reaction rolls, with some odd exceptions. Yeah. I've been playing for about 9 years now. Ian, probably about 2. I feel like I'm forgetting something I usually say. I did that last week too, but I don't know what it is.
I don't know.
So, yeah, I don't know what it could be. All right.
I caught you last
Brave New
time.
World GURPS campaign. Yeah, you caught me last time on the thing about forgetting. It's not even an important. Yeah. Anyway, I guess we'll just go to the summary.
I
guess so. If it comes to me, we'll skip back to it. All right. So last time in Brave New World, our good friend Benjamin Newman had fallen into a pit on this strange world with the roots in this subspace bubble. After exploring for a little while, Newman, actually not even after exploring for a little while initially, as Newman looked up at the pit to see what had caused his fall, he saw a cloaked, hooded figure. As he progressed through a series of tunnels, he came across strange crystals and more intricate carvings, a few sarcophagi, some fungus rats. The one where Ross gets fungus rats. I'm still thinking about that. That's the best thing I've said in a while. I've never even seen Friends.
Yeah, you referenced a show you've never
I need to see Friends. It's a good show, I assume.
I enjoy it.
That happened, and then you, upon returning up to where the sarcophagi was, you found some of your equipment, and once again ran into the cloaked figure. This happened about 2 more times, after which you ate a fungus. That seemed like a good thing to do.
I did eat a fungus.
You did eat a fungus.
I follow instructions.
You did follow the instructions that said eat me. You did not touch the strange crystal thing.
I didn't.
And after a while, you began experiencing some perhaps visions. You then, upon crawling through a vent system, looked down into a large chamber with three statues. I cannot speak today. 3 statues, and also saw Eddie and Jack, along with a figure who was disguised, in a manner of speaking, as yourself. Upon going down to the actual chamber, you were met with a brief a brief confrontation between Joe, the woman, who you did not discover her name in game, Jack, and Eddie.
What did I call her?
You called her Julie, I think. Was it Julie? Jody? It was a J name, I think.
It was Jay.
You called her something with a J.
She's Jennifer now.
Oh, Lopez? No,
no, she's not J-Lo.
Is that what people call her?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that. I thought that was like a rap artist.
No, that's Jennifer Lopez.
I learned something.
I believe, unless I'm very wrong, which I could be.
I mean, it just, like, that sounds right, but I was also pretty sure it was a rapper. But what do I know?
I don't know, maybe
I don't know much.
She might be a rapper.
Yeah. After the confrontation, during the confrontation, you also noticed the mysterious figure again. They all kind of called you forward to their statues in this room of statues. That was poorly spoken. I did not write the summary today. And you decided, upon following the hooded figure, upon running forward, a gunfight ensued between the 2 other parties. 2 of them tried to stop you, but ended up engaging with each other. And upon entering to the room, the door shut and locked behind you. You found 2 mysterious objects, upon which an interaction between the 2. Your character sheet isn't loading for me. Just a second. Yeah. Upon an interaction with the 2, you I don't know how you'd want to say what you did, but you interacted with them all right.
I did. I stabbed myself.
Upon which you turned around once again and were met with what appeared to be an alternate or future version of yourself, who gave you a brief message, which was he gave you a brief message.
I said something about it.
Yeah, he gave you a brief message, and he then you were back on your ship.
Sure was. Sam.
And that's about where we stopped.
You were hanging out.
This was in seasons. That'd be the end of season 1, but I'm not going to take breaks because I'm not a TV show and I don't need to. But yeah, that's where we left off. A little bit of a longer summary today. Who is it?
It's Joy to a group that was
disbanded.
I don't know which one. I don't know which group. It just says to your group. It's unimportant.
Okay. It is unimportant. Yeah. You're right. I still didn't think of what I could be missing, so I don't think I'm forgetting anything. I think the intro's just getting faster and faster, and it's throwing me off.
I think that might be it. We're just getting more used to this.
It's just throwing me off, yeah. Actually, I remember, this isn't exactly, but we'll get started in just a moment, but I just wanted to say, so now in the description, along with our links to Ian's character sheet and Twitter and Instagram, it's Instagram, right? Yeah. And Instagram. Ian's in charge of social media, not me. Instagram. We also have a link to our Stitcher, which is another podcasting site. We'll be uploading concurrently to that. We're not going to stream on there unless we are, and I don't know. It does some things automatically. I don't think we can stream through it, but all the videos will be uploaded to that after they are uploaded to YouTube as well. It's just a little bit of a better site for, like, if you're using it on your phone or on the go or something, because like the YouTube app, if you turn off your screen, unless you have premium, the sound stops. On the app for Stitcher or the website, it won't do that. So it's just another place we'll be uploading.
No one wants to pay for premium.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't pay for premium. I mean, unless you're already paying for YouTube Red, I guess. I know sometimes I want to watch the Vsauce show, but I'm never going to pay for it.
Yeah, I hear they're just going to make it free with ads soon.
Oh, cool. So I'll do that.
It's not gonna.
I'll watch with ads.
That's what I've heard. I've heard that rumor, but I don't know if that's true.
But yeah. And that's the last thing at the end of the summary after we took a little break in there for my ad. That was not sponsored. I would like it to be.
Yeah. Sponsor us.
Yes, sponsor. Shut up.
15 subscribers.
We have like 25.
We sure have 36.
Get out of here, 15. We got more than double that.
I lowball.
We're making it.
I lowball for safety.
Yeah. But yes, you also found a small notebook that had a set of coordinates written on it in the page.
Yeah, I set Sam to go there.
All right. So, are we good to head out?
I'd say so.
All right, give me a little navigation roll then to head on our way for these coordinates.
Navigation starts with an N, so it's 15. That's not why. It's
that.
6.
What did you say? You say it starts with an N, so that's 15?
Yeah.
Those are not correlated.
Why. They're just...
No, they're two facts.
They're in alphabetical order, more or less.
Yes.
Because that's how I went and
that's how my alphabet goes. N.
No,
15.
That was correlation, not causation.
All right. What'd you roll? You got a.
I just.
No, that's fine.
That's 6, 8, 9, 10.
10. Okay, 10. Success by 5.
Yeah.
All right, that's pretty good. So this journey, it looks like, from what the coordinates are giving you, this is about 5 sectors away. So it'll take you a little over a month to get there. Is there anything you'd like to do in that time? You'll be making some stops at refueling stations, things like that. Other than that, it'll just be pretty more or less straight shot.
Yeah. Do I still have that, like, wrist thing that I like?
Wrist thing.
That I took pictures of the pillars on.
Yeah. You do.
Yeah.
A little data pad kind of thing.
Yeah, I'd like to get those pictures to Sam.
Okay.
And get him to start comparing them to any known languages and or
cultures. Okay. Sure. Yeah, he can get on that. Let's see. Let me find out how much of that he can do while you're in warp. A lot of that can be done at the refueling stations when you have, like, we'll call it Wi-Fi, the extranet. But or no, outer net. What did I call it? Outer net.
I think you called it extranet.
Did I call it extranet? It's one of the two. I'm confusing mine and Tatsaki's things. Oh wow, that's really good. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So that's. I'm gonna roll once for each refueling station, and then I'm gonna roll overall.
Okay.
So let's see. Nope. That's a 6. Okay. Not
I was
total.
gonna be like, no, it's a 9, but it's a D6.
I've done that before. On the dice that don't have the line underneath the 6, sometimes I just get stupid.
Me too.
I'm like, oh, of course.
Of course. A 9. Obviously.
I've also thought the 1 was a 7, though, so, like, who am I? That's the one advantage to the dots. They are harder to read fast,
the
though.
pips are helpful.
They're harder to read fast, though.
Yeah, you gotta.
Okay, that's each of the
I always end up counting.
each of the refueling stations. Now I roll once for the overall journey. Okay, yeah, he can't do it while you're in warp, but he does manage to pull some things out while you're at some of the refueling stations. So at the first refueling station, you'll stop at a total of 3. You only really need 2, but the third one's kind of for safety because it's more or less a halfway point between 2 things. So it's like we're gonna pass by it. We might as well. Because it doesn't. Your ship is very small. It does not cost much to refuel. I'm just I'm waiving it for unless it becomes like a necessary gameplay feature.
All right.
I'm just saying you have you have an amount to spend on it.
I have a budget.
Yeah, you have a budget for it, more or less. Okay, so he finds out at the first refueling station, he is able to find a comparison on a few. Like, we're gonna call them like like some kind of forums, more or less, like an archaeological site that's like, hey, I found these artifacts at my dig site that didn't match with the rest of the artifacts here. Does anybody have any ideas what this could be? Like, I didn't read about this or whatever. Right. It goes on for a few hundred pages, which Sam more or less he gives you like the important things. Like, there's like maybe 1 or 2 things that he thinks are noteworthy every few pages. Right. It's mostly a bunch of like college professors or people in their grad program, like, oh, I think I read about this. There's 1 or 2 that seem pretty credible. So you think you found a culture that matches what these relics are, right. And they are the only title that they have for them. The closest translation they found, it's not a fully translated language. It's kind of like they don't have a complete Rosetta Stone, so they can translate some things, but they don't have a full thing. And the closest translation to common they can get for what the society was called was the Inheritors. No, sorry, that's wrong. Sorry, my bad. I'm reading my notes wrong. Sorry, it's the Bequeathed. Sorry, I have a lot of names next to each other on this little spreadsheet. Sometimes sometimes you accidentally go down a row when you're reading a column, you know?
Yeah, I do know that. Charts are hard. That was that the open hand or the closed hand?
Well, they were both open hand, except for the one that you had.
Well, no, because one was
open eye and closed eye.
Oh, that's it.
In the open.
I knew there was an open and
in the open hand.
Right.
Yeah. No, sorry, you were close.
But was that the open or closed eye?
That was the closed eye.
So that was my initial accidental.
No, wrong. That one was the open eye. The closed eye was the one Jack had.
Right. Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
I should have gone back and reviewed, but I didn't.
Oh no, it's fine.
This was my finals week. I'm a little out of it. So yeah, that's what's going on.
My finals week, like 3 sessions ago, I think. Yeah. Maybe 4.
3, 4, something like that.
You've had those don't match up. Yeah.
A month.
I had a month. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It was the one that matched Jack's. Yeah.
Right.
And then you got it briefly before your symbols changed. Your little sigils.
My sigil boys on my hand.
Your little runes.
And I still have the port, but no arm, right?
Yes, you have the cybernetic port.
All right. That is just to make sure I'm paying attention.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, cool. That's
on the next 2 stops, he tries to find out anything else. So okay, he's able to, on one of the pillars, the one that looked like a star chart, he's able to match up. He's able to match up about 30% of it with known star charts. He's not 100% sure of it, but I mean, obviously things shift in a galaxy and things larger than that, and it's hard to get an exact thing. But 20%, or no, sorry, 30. 30% is a pretty good match. It's gonna be hard to say for sure.
Right.
And at the 3rd stop, okay, let's see, what does that denote? At the 3rd stop, what does he find out? Let me look at my notes. I'm trying to remember everything you took pictures of. You took pictures of the 4 pillars. Sorry, the 3 pillars and the statue.
3 pillars and the statue.
And I think the wall carvings, question mark? You took one of them. One of them. You took a picture of the first one, the big one. Okay. Let's see what you can find about that. I already rolled. I'm rolling again. I don't know why. It was the same number, so it literally didn't matter.
That's convenient.
Okay, yeah. At the last one, he found out something about the two statues that didn't, the larger ones, not when you were up above ground, the ones that had the pouches.
Right.
So he found they look like historical, kind of like historical statues, like, you know, the ones they'd put up in like the middle of parks or things like that. Right. And he thinks he's found a match. They're definitely not from that world. He also able to tell from tell from the scans you took earlier that they're a different material, a different type of stone that's not found. Well, from the brief records you have of that world, not found there.
Right.
At least not in any large quantity sufficient enough to make the statues. So it looks like they are actually from. Let me go down to my little planet list real quick. Sorry, should have had that open. It looks like they are from. Oh, come on. Sorry, my planet list just got all messed up.
Oh, kind of.
There we go.
Screwed up.
It looks like they're most likely candidate they're from is Iago. A tech level 11 world.
Like the parrot.
No.
Yeah.
It's named after the Shakespearean figure, but fine. Gilbert Gottfried.
Look, we just watched the movie.
We did just watch them, and it wasn't Gilbert Gottfried.
It wasn't.
It was Alan Tudyk.
He's pretty good.
He didn't even sing.
He's not Gilbert, and he didn't sing.
It was unclear if the parent was sentient.
He did say some stuff on
He said some things unprompted, but they weren't like they were
They
questionable.
weren't lines.
They were questionable.
They were never a full sentence.
No.
I think the longest was like 3 words.
Yeah.
Anyways,
He just had some good one-liners.
he did have some really good one-liners.
He was a bird. Anyway, yeah, that's all you're able to discover for certain. But definitely you're able to just tell those 2 taller statues were not from that planet.
That's good to know.
And that's all you found out in the course of your journey. Is there anything else you'd like to be doing? Because that's just kind of Sam scanning all that stuff, and providing you with the information. You don't have to. Just asking.
No, I think that's really it.
Okay. Let me see if anything else happens on your little journey.
Space time.
They do exist.
They sure do. Glory hole.
Stop calling them that. No, you already. That would have happened if you got a crit on your navigation.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. No. It looks like that's about the only thing that happens. You run into like 1 or 2 jump drive skimmers. That's about normal. They're just usually just what's the word I'm looking for? Cartography things. They're making sure the star charts are up to date, stuff like that. Making sure things haven't moved around in their orbit faster than they were not anticipated, calculated, I guess, to be.
nice. Good thing to know.
Let me see. Let me look at your skills one more time. Nope, wrong engineer. Okay, yeah. So everything's not wrong, just wrong for what I wanted. Yeah. Okay. So after about a little over a month, close to 5 weeks, you pull into the sector. This sector is just a few sectors outside of what did I call that government? There we go. Outside of Old Alonia space. So there's not, they don't own a lot of planets. They own Alonia 1 through 6, Tower of Alonia, Lighthouse of Alonia, Library of Alonia. They're kind of like I'm trying to think. They're less like a government and more like a historical, not restoration, but what's the opposite of, not opposite of restoration? Keeping it intact. Protection. You know what I mean though. I can't think of the exact wording. But they're more like they are technically a government, but they're more like that.
Right.
More of
like a museum.
Yeah, more like a museum. They're kind of more curators than a fully established like governmental
like
political system.
Like you go and they recreate the town for you, and you're like,
things like that. And they make sure that the actual historical sites are like untouched. Right. They don't just they make sure there's no like raiders, things like that, looking for gold and stuff. You're like one. Most of the surrounding sectors are owned by them. Not this one. This one's safe. That's just kind of the area you're in. So there is in this sector, there's a large satellite. Let me find this satellite is Volk H7. There's one planet and there are several satellites. One of them's a moon. One of them's just like a large asteroid. And the satellite actually also has one satellite, which I can't remember what they're called. There's a name for it if a satellite has a satellite. Yeah. The literal satellite, not the moons. Right. That got a little bit confused. That got away from me a little bit. There is one actual satellite, man-made in place.
Yes.
There is one planet which has 2 moon-like objects.
Right.
And the man-made metal satellite also has a moon-like object.
All right.
That's what I was trying to say.
Got it. So it's a very big satellite. It's got its own gravity.
Okay, I thought that was in character, and I was like, why have you become Sam Elliott? I'm Sam Elliott.
That's me now.
That's my character. I've been Sam Elliott. I think that's what he sounds like.
Sure.
That's what he looks like.
Yeah.
Sorry, but yes.
he looks like this now. No, that was not in character. All right. Does the satellite have any identification that I can see and or know of?
Yeah, that's the one I said you could tell.
Right, you
yeah,
said the word.
Yeah, Volk H7.
There was just a lot of satellites.
Yeah, sorry, no, that was in the middle of kind of a spiel of things. Do you want me to say that again?
Volk H7.
Yeah, you got it. Volk H7. That's the identification of the satellite.
Okay, do I know who it belongs to?
Volk is a tech level 10 planet that's not really near here. It's about 6 sectors away. It's like two. I don't know how to say this right. 1 sector Z, 2 sectors X, 2 sectors Y. It's close, but it's a good month and a half away.
Interesting.
I mean, in the span of things, that's not that far, but like usually satellites are closer.
Yeah, usually satellites kind of be chilling by the ones who made it.
The planet is not. It doesn't appear to be an inhabited world. It's an unnamed. It's not life sustainable for humanoid life anyway.
Are any of the
Moons?
moon-like things habitable?
Not on record. One of them has a trace atmosphere, but it's not on your records if they've begun colonizing.
Interesting.
I was going to say terraform. That's not right. It has a trace atmosphere. Colonizing.
So
the satellite is obviously inhabited.
I would assume this is robots.
Just because it's made for that.
It might be robots, but it's probably not.
You can tell from the construction this is a satellite that was designed to house humans. It doesn't necessarily mean it's housed by humans,
but
it's likely. It's likely that it's man.
Probably. I guess Well, I probably should send a signal to them because they're really the main thing here, but I don't know what I should say.
It's up to you.
So the notebook had no other information.
You're looking back at the notebook.
Yeah, just these coordinates.
Okay. So as you look back at the notebook, so originally when you opened this page about a little over a month ago, you saw that all the pages were blank. You just kind of flipped through it, and everything was empty. It's got a little over. Well, you don't have an exact page count. It's got a good amount of pages. And the first page only had this set of coordinates on it. As you look back now, as on the on the page right under that, as you were thinking about what it was that you should send, there's just a little tiny box in quotation marks that says unofficial business.
Oh, great! So we have a Harry Potter and the whatever that one was.
I've never read or seen Harry Potter. They do a thing like that?
They have a notebook that talks to people.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Is it evil?
It's evil.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's Voldemort.
Of course it is.
It's one of his Horcruxes.
Oh, I think I might have known that.
Yeah, they gotta stab it and then he goes sploosh sploosh.
Yeah, that's what you do. You stab a book and the old man dies.
Yeah.
Just like real life. But yes, that's what appears there.
All right.
And as before, this does appear to be your handwriting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
what's
like-
up with that?
What doing
Who's
right?
doing that?
Who's
Okay.
being me? I don't
Okay.
like it.
I'm me. I knew you were going to say it. I had to cut you off.
All right, you got me. You got me there. All right. I guess I'll attempt to contact the satellite and say, what was my voice? Oh yeah,
You're British.
I forgot.
All right. You're pseudo-British.
I'm kind of British.
You're space British.
Hello. This is Benjamin Newman. I am here on official business.
All right. So you just basically send that through. Yep. All right. That's fine. Keeping it short and sweet. Just what you know. Say.
Just.
All right.
That's it.
Oh wow, that's really good.
Yay.
All right, so you get a reply almost instantaneous. You can tell this is pre-recorded. This isn't a audio reply. You get a on-screen kind of text thing. So it basically tells you it's basically like I don't want to say a brochure, but like what you'd get, that kind of spiel, like welcome to Volk H7,
right.
blah blah blah. It gives you like this list of like how many is estimated on board and like
amenities,
like humidity and gravity level of the satellite, things like that, like the generic stuff. Would you like to actually know any of that, or you just kind of skim through all of it? No.
Well, I'd like to know how many people there are.
Okay. Estimated population, it says, is like 38.
Not bad.
It's not bad, no. And you as you send that out, actually, you weren't really actively scanning because I mean you just kind of got what was on your main sensors. As you send out, you kind of your passive sensors automatically go to active when you send out a signal, just to kind of like an antivirus to avoid picking up
Right.
malicious things. Kind of like a one-way. It transmitted from like a FM to a, you know what I mean, from an all-around radio to a back and forth, like one-way signal. As you go into active sensors, you can tell that you are picking up actually three distinct signals in this sector. So would you like to do anything about that, or just note that you're picking up? You can actively scan what they are if you'd like.
Note them for now.
Okay. Yeah. So that's all you got back from Volk.
Okay.
Don't know why I said it twice.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just.
No, you're fine.
Shut up.
They messaging you?
They're talking. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's a group chat. I see.
It's a group chat. There's one of the people we had class with has a story to tell us.
Oh, a story to tell. All right. Anyway,
we're trying to meet up, and yeah, I'll get to that later. It's unimportant.
It is. Yeah, you're right. It does not affect my life at all.
Yeah,
or yours.
Not really. It's just kind of interesting and fun.
That's fair.
Hi, Naomi. Yeah, she said we will.
Oh, I don't have chat open. Okay, I should open that. But yeah, continue.
So, I will send a secondary message saying, fantastic. Am I cleared to board?
All right, that's what you sent? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. So you send that out, and you get the same message you just got back. That's all that seems to be sending out. It seems to be an auto reply kind of system.
Fun. Awesome. Great. That's useful. All right. Well, that being said, I'm gonna now scan for those active signals.
Oh, okay. All right. Actually, you would roll this. Sorry, not me. Unless you're asking, are you asking Sam to do it, or are you actually doing it?
I'll do it.
Okay. Just give me a. Sorry, I was just looking at it. Give me a spacer, or give me 3 spacers.
3 spacers. You got it. First spacer, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So
the success by 4.
Yeah.
Second spacer.
Second spacer is 5. That's a failure, definitely. So that's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it's failure
by 2.
And then the third spacer. That's not bad. So that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So success
by 3. Okay, success by 4, failure by 2, success by 3. All right, yeah. So the first signal you lock onto, you can tell is actually a distress beacon coming from the satellite. You don't know why you weren't initially picking it up. It doesn't have any specifics. It's just kind of like the generic, like we hit the button, it's sending out a distress beacon.
Right.
The second signal you're picking up is a little hard to lock onto. All you can tell is that it's nearby and that it's some sort of jammer. You assume that's why you weren't picking up the distress beacon initially. It seems to be trying to jam most outgoing signals from this sector. And the third one you're picking up seems to be coming from the moon of the satellite. You can't tell what it is, but it seems to be actively scanning and locking on to any ship in the vicinity. So not specifically yours, but yes, yours.
Right.
And you actually can tell now. You're not sure why it wasn't showing up in your sensors before. Once again, it could be because of the jammer. As it comes into visual range, you can tell that the moon of the satellite is actually maybe a little bit larger. You're not sure which one is the moon. They're kind of orbiting each other, kind of like a binary star.
Right.
I can't think of another example of things orbiting each other.
That's really.
But yeah, they're roughly the same size.
Interesting.
But yeah, you can't get a fix on the jammer signal. You can just tell it's in the sector somewhere.
Someone's jamming.
Someone's jamming something. Someone jams. The jams.
They have
jams.
They have jams.
They have jams. That was a good line in that movie. Talking about Aladdin, we saw it. I don't know if we should have. It wasn't the worst, but I agree with the critics. It wasn't great. It was good from Friend Like Me to when Jafar got the lamp. Before and after that was eh.
Yeah.
And that's my review. Thanks for watching. No,
thanks for watching. That's the episode.
That's the episode.
Bye-bye.
We reviewed Aladdin.
We reviewed Aladdin and kind of played a game.
Yeah, no, we still got an hour and a half. So let's continue.
Yeah. So this distress a jam, and an unknown who's scanning for ships.
Yeah. It is currently locked onto you, but you have no evidence so far to suggest it's malicious. This is just a lock on.
I feel bad about the stress, but I'm more curious about the unknown.
Okay.
So I think you said that was coming from the moon?
Oh, the one that's scanning or the jammer?
The scanning.
Yeah, it seems to be coming from the moon of the satellite.
I'm gonna head towards the moon then.
Okay. So, let's see. Okay. Yeah, so as you start, actually give me a piloting. Sorry, first of all.
Yes, a pilot.
I doubt you're going to crash, but just in case.
I would hope not.
If you do, I need to know before I tell you what happens, because it won't.
Yeah.
No, you're good. That's
a success by like.
Yeah, that's
3,
more than
4.
That's a good enough. There wasn't a minus, so if you succeeded, you succeeded.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So as you start heading towards the you start plotting. You don't really have to plot a course; it's in visual range. You just start flying. I mean, you can plot a course if you'd like. It's kind of unnecessary, but as I was saying, sorry, I gotta clear my throat. I don't know. I drank too much apple juice.
You did.
It's tasty.
Yes, Eli, we're jamming.
Oh, we got a little.
Yeah,
we jam. No, I'm not going to encourage that. Anyway,
I will encourage anything said in chat.
That's fair. Yes. So as I was saying, as you start heading towards there, you get probably about, I'll say, within 5 kilometers. Within 5 kilometers, and Sam comes on. And he says, "Captain, not necessarily hostile, but I'm picking up some strange low-band radiation coming from that satellite as we get closer."
The satellite.
Yes, it appears to be. Still not got a direct lock on the jammer, but the signal seems to be getting stronger, so it's coming from somewhere in this area.
Well, that's good to know. So
he confirms if you'd like to continue moving forward, or if the radiation is a worry.
I think we'll continue moving forward.
Yeah, it's nothing like dangerous. It's a little odd. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of passive radiation in space, but most of it's not directed.
Right.
So, all right, so you continue forward. Give me one more roll. This time at a -1.
All right. Still 14. That's a success by 3.
3. Okay, yeah, that's plenty. So you feel it just feels kind of like it gets a little bit harder to steer as you get closer. I'll give the equivalent of like you're driving on a semi-icy road if this was a car. Sam just says something with the low band radiation is messing with your sensors just a little bit. They're just a tiny bit off. Like your gyroscopes aren't quite balanced, but nothing really a worry. Just a little bit off.
Right.
Yeah, you're within a kilometer now of these two things. What would you like to do specifically?
All right.
And Sam has confirmed the jammer is also stronger, so it's somewhere in this area. Which isn't necessarily surprising considering the only 2 signals to jam seem to be coming from here, but it wasn't necessarily.
It's possible somewhere else.
It still is possible somewhere else, but it's stronger here so far.
Yeah. Okay, so can I look up or get Sam to look up like a basic schematics for this model of
the satellite?
The satellite.
Oh, the satellite actually would have sent you that with the kind with the kind of brochure they sent.
So what kind of like fuel source are they using? Like engine are they using?
Oh, fuel source. Okay. Yeah, this is a pretty large satellite. So you'd that wouldn't necessarily be on. It was more of a map schematic, right. But so you could either look that up or I would allow you to just first of all make like an engineer roll -2 to know that. I mean, you can just see if you know before you look it up, but if you don't, you can try.
-2. So at 11.
Ooh, that's a big number.
I don't know.
That's not quite a critical failure, but close. That's a 16?
That's
16. Oof, yeah, not quite.
You brain almost exploded.
Yeah, no. You look at this and you think for a moment, and then you think you almost have it, and then you remember where the satellite's from, and you're not really from. You haven't been around that area very often. There's not a lot out there for someone who's looking for the things you are. Okay, so you asked Sam to look it up. Let's see. Okay, so Sam comes over the intercom again. He says, "I'm sorry, sir. I tried to get a read on it for you to look up the thing. It seems that the jammer is jamming all outgoing signals. I can't get a fix on I can't get any kind of signal from here, really, sir. Sorry.
That's unfortunate. And we still can't get an exact fix on that jammer?
I can try again if you'd like, so you'll have to give me a moment.
Go for it.
If I had a guess on the satellite, sir, I'm no mechanical AI, but on a ship that size, I'd say they're probably using a Hawking radiation drive.
So that could be where the radiation's coming from?
It's certainly possible, sir. It would denote it's low band, so it wouldn't denote a particularly high breach, but if we're getting it out here, it would denote a breach of some kind. Although if the ship's still intact, it can't be that severe yet.
That's what I was worrying about.
Let me know if that accent ever gets too strong to understand. I don't think it is, but
you're good for now.
It's a passive worry. Okay,
you're good. Yeah. Can you scan for the jammer again? See if we can pinpoint that.
Yeah, certainly, sir. Okay, so he's gonna try to do that. Let's see. Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. Yes, sir. It seems we're getting it now. It was in this area after all. There appears to be a ship docked on the. Okay, I was trying to use nautical terms, but I forgot which one's port and which one's aft. So I think aft's the back, but I don't remember.
I believe
I'm just gonna say the far side. There appears to be a ship docked on the far side of the satellite, sir. I can't get any visual readings from here, but that's definitely where the jammer's originating from.
That is interesting. Why would a ship dock on a possibly malfunctioning satellite and then send out jamming signals?
Certainly is odd, sir, but don't have an answer for you.
It was a rhetorical question, Sam. You're not supposed to have an answer.
My mistake, sir.
All right. Well, I think we should keep moving towards that scanning signal. I'm quite interested in that one.
All right. Okay. Give me a piloting one more time. -2 this time.
-2.
You're decent. I think that's still a success.
Hold on. That's 11, 12.
And your piloting is 15. Yeah, success by 1.
So yeah, by 1.
Okay, yeah, that's still good. It's getting a little bit harder to steer. Not awful. Like there isn't much to run into, so you're not really at a threat. But it's just kind of losing. It's a little awkward. Yeah, it's just a little awkward. So what, are you trying to dock on it? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to land on the surface of it?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just curious. So as you pull closer, actually give me a little will roll, and right before then you hear, sir, the radiation seems to be increasing. I'm not sure why.
It's not good. Hey, that is good though. That's 4, 5. So
that's really good.
Yeah.
Give me an HT roll now.
Okay.
It's a really good will roll. That's a 5. That's a success by 7.
Yeah. That's
also pretty good.
That's 5, 6, 7, 8. That's only a success by 2, but still. That's
still pretty good. Okay, yeah. So you feel like a small, another like a pang, almost like a headache, but nothing comes of it. Sam just says there was a brief spike in the radiation there, so seems to have subsided. Not sure what it was about. So yeah, now you're past that. What were you doing? You wanted to land on?
Yeah, landing.
Yeah. Okay. You're certainly able to. Give me one more piloting roll to set down.
All right. Don't fail me now. That's not good. That's
not great.
12, 13, 14, 15.
Okay, that's a little rocky. Let me roll a little bit here. Yeah. You're gonna get a little scuffed up on entry. Okay. Yeah, not entry. This thing doesn't have an atmosphere, but you know what I mean. Right. Yeah, you come down just a little bit too hard. This thing had a little bit stronger of a gravity than you were anticipating, and you set it down a little rough. You hear a little bit of groaning on your we'll call them landing gear. Nothing's broken, but just a little bit of undue strain.
That's always fun.
But yeah, you set down now.
All right. So this has no atmosphere.
No, yeah, this one does not have. This is not the one with trace atmosphere.
That's good. We don't need an atmosphere. Atmospheres are for the weak.
You do have a spacesuit.
I do it. That's the point.
Yeah. I don't know about for the weak, but I think they're for the normal, really.
You're
but
probably correct. We in fact have an atmosphere here on Earth.
For now. Let's not do that. Anyway,
we're not getting political.
No, let's move away from that.
So how close did I get to where the signal is originating from?
On this area?
Yeah.
You don't have an exact lock. You can just tell it's originating from this body, but you can try to get a more direct scan if you'd like.
I would like to do that.
Okay. Give me a. Let me look. Give me a spacer -2.
Alright.
It's an 11.
That I can do. It's not bad.
That's a
That's a
success by
10.
1. That's a
Yeah.
success by 1. Okay, that's not awful. Yeah, you can tell that the signal is coming from. You can tell. Sorry, I just have to roll for something else. Yeah, okay. You can tell the signal's coming from somewhere subterranean. It's a good few hundred meters underground. There may be an opening somewhere, but not where you landed at the very least.
Huh. Well, that's all right. All right, then I'm going to don the spacesuit.
Okay.
And then go out and do like a sweeping pattern.
Yeah.
Out from my ship, just like forward.
Okay. How far would you like to go if you don't find anything? If you don't find anything in that time.
Couple 100 yards.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. What's your perception? Your perception's 12? Yeah. Do you have anything else? I think that's it. Yeah, that's all you have. Okay. I was just making sure. Oh, okay. Okay, that's not bad. What exactly are you looking for?
Any sort of like large obvious things clearly, but also any sort of like deviations that don't look natural.
Okay. So yeah, you go forward a few hundred. You don't find anything terribly striking. Definitely a few things out of the norm. I don't know if any of them would have stopped you in your tracks, but this is about what you find. You find a handful. I'll say a handful, like 6 or 7. Small, roughly like basketball-sized holes that seem to just go down. Like you couldn't fit in one. Maybe if you really a basketball's too small. You could not fit in one. But you can tell they just go down a ways. If you shine a light down, you can't quite see the bottom, but they seem to go more or less straight down. And you see 6 or 7 of those just they look drilled into the surface. And you find at least one large, not large, that's an overstatement, a metal pole protruding from the ground. That's all it really looks like here. It could be the end of something, but from where you are, it's just a pole. It's roughly like 6 centimeters in diameter, and it just goes up probably like 7 or 8 feet above where the ground level is, and then it just stops.
Okay. Well, that wasn't very productive.
Not terribly. You found some things.
There's something under.
Yeah, you did know that.
Now know that even more.
That's true.
Double confirmed. Mythbusters would be proud.
That's all I have to say about that.
I haven't blown anything up though. So.
Not yet.
Other people have.
There's
been a couple explosions around me.
Yeah, not in the recent past, but
not right now.
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's happened.
Almost died.
It has happened. That's true.
All right. So then, I think with the revelation of it being underground and not finding any immediate entrance, I am more or less disinterested at this point.
Okay.
So I think I'm gonna return to my ship.
Okay.
And I'm gonna ask Sam if there's been any change in the ship that was sending out the jamming signal.
Okay. We'll give him a little scan real quick. Okay. Sam comes over the intercom again. He says, "No, sir, we're not noticing any differences really. I mean, as the body's orbit is getting a little further away from us, but that's about it. I did notice, sir, a few moments after we sent out that active sensor for the signal coming off of this body, the radiation spiked for a moment, but that's all that's really changed."
Interesting. So, are we actually picking up any life forms on the satellite?
I'm afraid the jamming signal is jamming our life sign sensors, sir. I'm sorry. Maybe if the signal was further away, but not from this radius.
That's unfortunate. Because it claims there's 38, but with the radiation coming off, not sure why they would stay. But who knows? Shall we find out, Sam?
Certainly, sir. You'd like me to plot a course for the satellite?
I sure would.
All right. So let's see. All right. So Sam has plotted a course for what the satellite on that little brochure it sent out to you has labeled one of the docks more or less. It's more of a think like Star Wars shuttle bay, more like that than a dock like from last time when you interlocked airlocks. This is more of like an actual thing you can fly into. In theory, it's supposed to be. As you take off from the surface of this not smaller, it is larger. This moon of the satellite, and you take off for the satellite itself. As you pass where the atmosphere would be on a regular celestial body, I need you to roll Will and HT one more time.
Okay. First for Will. Not bad. That's 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
So success by like
5. Yeah, 5.
And then HT. That's 4, 8. So success by 2.
Okay, not quite as good this time. All right, not quite good enough. All right. So as you pass over the threshold here, really briefly, you hear Sam once again say, "So the radiation is spiking," and like after about there, he kind of cuts off. Not in like a. Yes, I mean it goes all staticky, like your radio cut out, like more like your radio cut out than Sam did, like the ship's intercom. And you see a bright light emanating from somewhere. You can't quite get a fix on it. Kind of like a flashbang went off somewhere in your peripheral. Like it's bright and you're blinded for a moment, but you can't tell where it came from.
Right.
And as you come back to, your ears are ringing a little bit, and your vision kind of fades back in, and you hear sounds of maybe wildlife and moving water. And it's a little bit warmer. You can tell you're not in your spacesuit anymore. And you can feel kind of the ground swaying a little bit underneath you.
Swaying.
A little bit.
I heard water.
Perhaps. No, you did. You do appear now to be in some sort of rowboat.
Am I alone?
There is in fact a small gull perched on your shoulder.
A gull on my shoulder.
That's true.
No one else in the boat?
There is no one else in the boat.
Is there anything else in the boat?
There is some oars. There's some oars. There is it looks almost like equivalents to most of the things you were holding at a lower tech level. You'd wager around tech level 5. There are most equivalents, and you can tell now where there was that port on your thing before. You now have one singular wooden arm ending in a hook. You gonna be good?
Oh my! Wow. Okay.
And you can see you are several meters from a dock of some kind.
I'm gonna turn to look at the bird on my shoulder and go, "Would your name happen to be Sam?"
You can see there is a small, perhaps letter attached to the leg of the bird, like kind of roped around there, like a messenger pigeon of some kind.
I'll take it out and read it.
Okay. So you take it out and read it, and you see a small written note that says, "Sir, we appear to have set off a defense measure of some kind that is messing with my I cannot speak. I have this written down and I cannot read it. Sir, we appear to have activated a defense system of some kind. It's messing with my active sensors. I assume it is messing with your active sensors as well."
Yeah, it sure is, Sam. Since you appear to have turned to a rowboat and a bird.
And after briefly, like a moment after you take the small thing off of it, the bird does flit away. It appears to be moving towards the town, but you don't really know what that denotes. But yeah, you are a few meters from shore.
Well, looks like I'm gonna start rowing.
All right, you don't have to row terribly far. I'm not going to make you roll to row.
I don't have any rowing.
I'll make you row rowing skill, and you will not make it to shore till you succeed. This is the session.
I'm in a rowboat now.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so yeah, you row to the shore. And not to the shore, the dock. Oh, either really. What would you like?
I'll go to the dock.
Okay. You row to the dock, and you can tie up your rowboat or whatever you'd like to do.
I would like to tie it up. I don't want to get it washed out.
You tie. This wasn't as funny in my head. You tie down this. never mind. You tie down your rowboat and you step up onto the dock, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay, you step up onto the dock. There is a small town before you. Would you like to? I don't know. What would you like to do?
I think the sequence is a lot more cartoon than you.
Yeah, it wasn't this cartoon in my head at all. That's fine. It's still going forward.
Yeah. Oh, do I see like people walking around? Or
Not actively, no.
is there smoke coming out of chimneys?
No. You also don't see any chimneys. This appears to be as you look across it, the closest semblance you can come to in memory is perhaps some kind of small western town. That's roughly how the buildings look.
A western town.
It looks more like perhaps a lake.
On the shores of a lake. Interesting. They also had chimneys.
You still don't see any.
That's fair.
I'm not telling you because it's western there aren't chimneys. I'm telling you there aren't chimneys and it appears to be western.
Okay.
You do
making sure.
You do see smoke, however, as it seems like there are several buildings that I'm gonna say you can tell they were recently burned down because they're still smoldering. That's a pretty good sign it's recent.
It's unfortunate. I guess I'll start moving towards. Well, I'll start heading towards the center of town.
Okay.
It's usually the main action.
All right.
Place.
Okay, yeah. So you start heading towards the center of town. Can you give me a machinist roll real quick? Don't worry about why. Just give me a machinist roll.
I'm worried. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's a success by 6.
Okay, that's really good actually. Okay, yeah. So you make your way into center of town with no problems. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
I'm worried.
No, you don't need to. It's fine. You rolled well.
I did roll well.
Yeah. So you make your way into the center of town. You get to the center. What appears to be the center of town. It's not terribly large. As you scan once again, you can tell there's probably a little more than 20 buildings. That's about it. Not anymore. Now there's a little more than 16, maybe. There's 3 or 4 that are burned down clearly. As you step into the center of town, you can tell this is more or less a pretty simple kind of plus-shaped kind of design. Like the center is here, and there's 2 crossroads, and at the end of each of those roads, it appears to go out of town, except for the one that heads towards the water, which appears to head towards it appears to be a very large lake. You can barely see the shore at the other side, but you can see the shore, which denotes that it's not an ocean in itself. You can see a canal of some kind leading out somewhere. You assume that leads, if not to a river or another lake, maybe out to sea, but this is at the very least a small channel with a lake. You do think you can also see another larger seafaring vessel that you did not see before out on the water, a ways out. It looks vaguely. Oh, I don't know if you'd know that. You need a history roll for that. Never mind. You don't know what it looks like. It looks like a boat.
Boats. I know what them's look like.
Actually, I'll let you attempt to substitute a theology -5 roll.
Yeah, sure.
If you'd want to know what this boat looks like.
Not bad. That's still an 11.
Wow, your theology is really good.
It's my best skill.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that. Okay.
I'm a good boy. That's not.
Ooh, not quite.
That's a fail by 1.
Failed by 1.
With that.
Not quite. It feels like maybe you've seen this in a history book somewhere. That's about all you can tell.
Sure,
it definitely is a boat, though.
Definitely
you are certain it is a boat.
I am so glad I've discovered that it's a boat.
You just know.
I do know. I understand what boats are. Wow, I'm so advanced. Okay.
You are from a Tech Level 4 world.
I sure am.
So you did initially know what a boat was. That is not news.
That's part of my training.
I'm going to stop talking about the boat now.
I feel it's really important. I care about this boat.
You can keep talking about the boat, but I've stopped. All right. So as you step into the... What'd you see? You good?
Someone just messaged me shirt size small. Oh, it's my
shirt
mother.
Size small?
It's my mother. Yeah.
Is that the whole message?
Yep.
Shirt size small?
Yep.
Is it a question mark?
It was a question mark.
Oh, cool. It is a question. All right. Anyway.
The answer is yes.
Yeah. As you step into the center of town, you can see 4 buildings in the kind of the center, in each of the corners of this this cross X plus, they're all the same shape. This shaped intersection. It looks like the 4 buildings are what appear to be, there's a sheriff's office. What is the building called? The sheriff place. I just realized I don't know what that building is called. You know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
There's the sheriff's office. There is a general store, what appears to be some kind of saloon, and the 4th building on the corner appears to be burned down.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That was probably the governmental building.
There is absolutely no evidence to denote that. There's no evidence to note what this building may have been.
There sure isn't. But I'm going to assume. I've just kind of started making assumptions about things
fine.
I can't know.
That's fine.
Like Jenny.
You just picked another J name. That's a new one. You just picked another J name. All right.
I'm going to do it. Even after I know her name. I'm just going to keep calling her J name.
Okay, fine.
They're not all going to be female either. There's gonna be a J name. The first one I think of. Okay. Well.
Yes.
I don't know whether I want to go to the sheriff's or the saloon.
Assumably, you can go to both.
Yeah, but I don't know which one I want to go to first.
All right, that's fair. I know what you meant. I'm just being a jerk.
I mean, you never know. I might get arrested.
That's true. For what crime?
Docking my boat without a license.
Oh, it's true. That could be a crime. That could be a crime.
That's an actual thing.
That actually could be a crime. You're right.
I don't know. I do not know the laws of this land.
It's true. You could feign ignorance. It wouldn't be feigned.
It wouldn't.
No.
That won't stop him from arresting me, though.
That's
Maybe.
true. It would most likely not stop your arrest.
All right. Let's see. I'm going to the saloon.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll head to the saloon.
Okay. So you head to the saloon and you go and you can there's the double doors. You know the good old double doors. Yeah.
Kapow!
And you kind of walk up to the double doors. How would you like to open these? Are you being dramatic, or are you just like, I'm just going into this building?
I'm not being dramatic, but I'm definitely I am being like not forceful, but it's not confident. It's just purposeful. That's
okay. Yeah, that's fair. So you don't throw these doors open, but you give them a good shove ahead of you, and you see these doors swing open, and you can see there is there's wow, if I can speak, that'd be great. This is a day that I cannot talk. Okay, yes. As you kind of push these doors open, you get a good look at the bar in front of you. You can see it's a pretty standard bar. There's a smaller upstairs portion, you can tell, that led there by some stairs. There's the directly across from you at the other side of the room is the actual bar itself.
Right.
And you can see there's also tables in between here and there. There's a good 6 or 7 tables just kind of strewn about the room, set in different places. As you look across the room, it's more or less absolute carnage. You can see there are charred kind of bodies sitting at a bunch of the tables. There are people who appear to have bullet wounds lying in the ground and things like that. And you do see one single individual sitting upright at the bar. And as you kind of push these doors open, you see the figure kind of whip around and pull out a gun. And just about at that same moment, a figure tackles you to the ground outside of the thing as a gunshot goes like right past where you were standing. And the doors swing back closed. Let's see about that figure. You couldn't tell much. The figure was wearing a tall, wide-brimmed hat and had a bandana covering most of their face.
The one that shot at me?
Yeah, the one that shot at you.
Good.
They felt familiar somehow, though.
All right. Okay. How about this one that tackled me?
Okay. You were tackled by. It appears. Okay. Yeah. Everyone's dressed, including yourself now, as you look down in more or less this kind of generic Western fashion. So that doesn't really tell you much.
Chaps.
You do have chaps, and they are assless.
Yes.
You better not be like a Brent and take them off for 40 assless damage.
You will take the damage.
He would have taken 40 assless damage and died.
I want to keep the chaps.
All right, but yes. You do also notice as you look down, you have a small, perhaps star-shaped badge up into your chest.
Oh no.
It does say what you might suspect.
Oh no, am I the sheriff?
You are the sheriff.
Oh no.
All right.
That's
but yeah,
never good.
You appear to have been tackled to the ground by a short, heavier woman. She looks like she may be 5 foot, and she's not like heavy, she's more muscular. And that's all you can really tell immediately. She's just kind of she waits. She's on top of you, and she's kind of holding you down for a moment. And she has her head looking back towards the door, and it doesn't look like you don't hear any footsteps or anything after the initial gunshot. It seems that whatever threat you posed no longer posed if you did not enter the saloon. So he does not appear to be coming out.
I think we're safe.
Yeah. The woman turns back to you as you say that. She says, "That was a stupid stunt you just pulled. What the hell do you think you're doing? Turn it." And she kind of stops for a moment as she looks at you, and she kind of gets a really big smile. She goes, "Newman, you're back."
No, I'm here for the first time. Actually, that's not back.
Let me see real quick. Let me go. Ah, my dice. Okay. Yeah, no. I was like, does that just? For a second, I was like, does that denote a fright check? No, that's not scary. That's just weird. You've had this before. It's not scary. Yeah. Okay. So the woman kind of she pauses a moment. She doesn't look shocked. She just looks kind of. Actually, that's not really. I don't think unless you have an emotion skill, you could like discern exactly what that is.
No.
It's not shock. It's not a strong emotion. It's just kind of like a And she goes, "Oh, okay. Well, could be better timing for, I guess, our first meeting." She kind of stands up and she reaches out a hand to help you up.
I'll take it.
Okay. You take her hand. So she introduces herself briefly. She says, "All right. So as I'm pretty sure you already know, you're on Volk 7H. I take it from your general stumbling around that you did activate the defense mechanisms, huh?"
I would say so, yeah.
All right. We'll get that sorted out by the end of the day, but we got a bit of business to take care of first. All right. First of all, I'm Catherine Jenkins. And she reaches out her hand again to actually shake yours this time. She just helped you out before.
Right. Nice to meet you, Catherine.
She says, "All right. So we've been working together for a little under a year now. I do understand how all this works now. I take it you don't yet. I'm not supposed to tell you anything yet. We'll get to that. We will get to that. I do promise you. But you made me promise not to tell you yet. So
I made you promise not to tell me.
I'm sure you'll remember when we get there.
I really don't hope so. I hope so. I'm really confused right now.
Okay. Oh, I remember now. Okay, you're supposed to have a what did he tell me? You've got a not a notebook, a data pad for me. You got a data pad should have the same sigil you've been seeing around places.
Oh yes, I have that.
Okay. So you do have that. Yeah. You pull out the closest thing you can think of that could possibly be a data pad, which appears to be this small leather-bound, not a notebook, but more of a kind of like a I can't think of the right word, like what you'd assume a map maker has, kind of like it's got this kind of special kind of paper, and it also has like a very small compass and sextant attached to it. And you pull that out, and you reach for where you know the data pad was in your pocket, and that's what you pull out. And
I think this is a data pad.
And she just kind of looks at you for a moment. She gives you an incredulous look, and then she kind of seems to remember what's going on. She goes, "Oh yeah, that's it. That's just hand it over."
All right.
And she does, from your point of view, just some odd kind of. She opens it and she's doing things with the sextant and the compass. You don't know what she's actually doing. You could attempt to. Actually, you don't have a computer operation, I guess.
I'm good. I don't want to.
You don't want to know?
I don't care.
You're just like, this is weird enough.
I'm real
you know those moments when adult life is already so goddamn weird. All right. Yeah. Okay. And she just kind of appears to be doing that for a while. And she goes, "All right, this will work. This will work." Okay, we gotta get. Long story short, we gotta get to the main reactor. There's been not quite a breach, but we'll say structural integrity is falling pretty fast. And I'm not terribly worried about the satellite itself. I think we may be the only two still alive on board, not counting our friend in there.
Yeah,
but
about him.
Yes.
Who is?
Oh, you're right. You can't tell things with What? He's not disguised. What is he wearing for you?
He's got a bandana and a hat.
A bandana and a hat. Oh man, that would make all of this much more enjoyable if I could see his bandana and hat. No, I guarantee you know who that is. You know the Sakamoras, right, kid?
Unfortunately, yes.
All right, we got to deal with not exactly a fun one in there. We got Eddie on this little case here.
Great. Last time I saw him, we didn't leave off on good terms. Exactly.
Well, the last time you saw him probably was not the last time he saw you, so I wouldn't worry about that, kid.
Great. What?
Yeah, don't worry about it yet. All this I'll explain once we're in a safer location. For now, I'm gonna need you to come with me.
All right. Yeah, it's fine.
How is Newman doing right now?
He's got a lot.
Compared to you, I think you're just enjoying this.
Ian's having a great time. Newman's not doing hot.
No, I would understand so.
He just got shot at by a man in a bandana and a hat.
That's true. In a saloon.
In a saloon.
Filled with dead bodies.
Filled with dead and charred bodies.
That's true.
Which is not an actual saloon.
Assumably no.
Because we're on a satellite in space. But I happen to trigger a defense mechanism.
How do you like all this?
It's...
Oh, the long pause is not reassuring.
It's really funny.
I don't know if it was supposed to be. But that's fine. That's just fine.
I feel like if I was actually in this situation, I'd be much more worried than I am right now.
No, that's fair.
Because I went up to a space satellite,
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm in.
You ended up in
the
a
Old
rowboat.
West with a rowboat
The New West.
and a cartographer's pad.
Ooh, that should be a sci-fi setting. The New West.
The New
I'm
West.
sure it has
That is
been.
a sci-fi.
I'm sure it has been.
That's
It's just the Old West
like,
with blazers.
What's it called? The one with the robots.
That could be literally any
Westworld.
Westworld. Okay, I was like, the one with the robots could be literally anything.
The recent one.
All right. I haven't seen any of them, but anyway,
Have I? But I know it has robots.
I didn't, so I learned. All right, but yes. So she kind of takes you she kind of grabs your wrist.
All right, I'll follow her.
She's just kind of leading you forward. So you go down one of the roads, and you end up at what appears to be this kind of well. You assume like a water well. You can tell there's a small stream kind of also going near it. You assume coming from the body of water that you docked at. It appears to be going through some kind of water mill. That's what they're called, right? Yeah, a mill.
Yeah.
I think they're just called that. Yeah. So there's a small well and she kind of you can see that it looks like the well, or not the well. Oh my gosh, I'm putting too many words for myself. The mill, the stream that's going past the mill seems to be almost dried up. And the wheel is struggling to turn.
So I'm assuming this is our engine.
Yeah, that's just about right. You're assuming correctly. I promise we will get this all sorted out shortly, and this will not be nearly so stupid. I don't know exactly what the defense system is doing to you. It has a few different effects, and it works differently depending on your blood type, believe it or not. But well, yeah.
I sure am in the Wild West, and it's pretty wild.
Wild West, huh?
Yep.
All right, cool. That's not cool.
It's
Actually,
not. It's really not.
no.
It's kind of campy, honestly.
Yeah, I believe it. We'll get you out of here in a minute. But yeah, so she kind of walks over to the mill, the exterior, by the water wheel, and she appears to be taking some kind of measurements. She pulls out like a device of some kind. This one doesn't actually look like it doesn't look like an Old West thing. You can tell this is clearly a your tech level type of device.
Right.
It looks like some kind of you just assume. Well, actually, I guess our tech level kind of device. It looks like a laser, one of those laser rulers that you point at and it can tell how far a distance is between 2 points.
Right.
That is our level of technology.
We have
We have those. That feels pretty cool, but it's not. It's pretty mundane.
Pretty boring.
Pretty boring. You want some measurements? Got them.
Real fast.
real
accurate.
fast.
That's about it.
Yeah, and after that, she starts to get to work, and she appears to periodically be looking at that that thing you gave her, which you know is a data pad, but currently is not. And she has just an odd semblance of both new age and old timey tools. You're not sure why some things appear to be getting past the sensor and some don't. You assume. Actually, you have a decent guess. You assume it might be based off your personal knowledge. So if you truly can think of no Old West example of a tool, then your brain can't substitute it for anything.
That makes sense.
Which is not entirely infeasible. It is inconvenient and weird, but that's about it.
Sure is.
After about 10 minutes of this, she comes and she asks for your help. She basically says, "I know this is going to be difficult.
Indeed.
I just need you to, honestly, my best advice. I've had to work under this thing once before, not quite the same situation. The Old West is not a popular theme to get, really, but I say this like it's a fun attraction. It's definitely not. But just work on instinct. That's my best advice. Intuition and instinct. Just kind of let your body move. I don't know how else to help you. You're gonna need to make a machinist minus, hidden minus for me.
All right, I'll do that. Okay. Try not to make it worse. How happy will you be if I get 3 6s?
I won't be, actually. That'd be quite inconvenient for me.
I didn't get 3
No, you didn't. You rolled quite well,
I
actually.
did. I rolled a 6.
That's a 6. That is definitely good enough. That's a success by 9 normally. With your hidden minus, it's less than that, but it's still a success. She just kind of looks at you after a moment. She goes, "Wow, good work."
I don't know what I did.
Well, I'm just gonna say you did it well. So
I appreciate that.
Nice. All right. Now that's all. Well, not fixed up, but it'll hold till we can work on it more later. But yeah, everything should be stable for the time being.
That's good.
Come with me real quick.
Right.
Yeah. So she takes you once again down. You go down the string, down a few. Sorry, I pulled like a muscle on my arm and I just moved it wrong. Ow.
Yikes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that. Yeah. Sorry, yeah, she takes you a few houses down from this kind of mill area, and you do notice as you leave, it looks like the wheel is turning a little more. The wheel's turning more stably. You don't hear it like groaning, and you don't hear the sound of like wood. You know the kind of cracking, crunching wood makes before it snaps.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't snapped, but it was making that noise, and it's not anymore. You can tell that the stream is still really almost a trickle at this point. There's not really enough water to push it, but it sounds like it's holding more, even if it's not going.
Better than not.
That's true. So she takes you a few houses down. She takes you to what kind of looks like there's this you notice now before. You didn't see it before, which may be an effect of the thing, or it may have just been you didn't notice. You can see there's this one house has a kind of not a telephone wire, but one of those. It has a pole and there's a cable going to it.
Right.
And you can see they go out just off into the desert, but they're connected to this house. And she steps inside, and you can see this house is pretty empty. You can see there's one what are they called? Morse code telegram machine. Telegraph. Thank you. There's one telegraph on the table, and other than that, there's just a series of like books on the wall and things. And she goes over near the telegraph, and she takes out like a paper, and she starts scrawling something down. And then she goes and she starts doing the thing on the telegraph. And after a few moments, give me another will and HT roll.
I'm assuming that's not actually a telegraph machine you're working on.
No, but that sounds quite comical.
It's hilarious. So will, that's 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
Against 12. And then
Wow, 5's good.
HT is not as good. That's a 12 against 10.
12 against a 10. Okay. So yeah, after a moment you do kind of let me think. I know what happens, but let me just think with those specific rolls. Yeah, I'm gonna say you get a really bad dizzy spell, and you kind of struggle to stay to your feet. You kind of fall for a second, and as you step back up, actually as you hit the ground and you look down, you can see the ground has changed from this kind of wooden board and dusty red kind of dirt to a pretty easily recognizable metallic kind of surface. And as you stand back up, you can see that you are definitely in a you're definitely in a comms room of some kind. You can see there's a large console on one wall. You can see a large string of active sensors, as well as there is a window leading into a large room. It doesn't look like a reactor, but actually give me a spacer roll.
I can't.
For me.
No.
No, how bad?
That's just a fail by 1.
Fail by 1? No, that's good enough actually.
Oh, okay.
You can tell these aren't something that's actively manufactured, but something that's pretty easily recognizable. Let's say like a blimp. Like we don't really make blimps anymore. Like we probably manufacture a few blimps every now and then, but they're not. But like if you saw a blimp, you're not like, what the hell is that?
There's like that one tire company blimp.
Oh, the Goodyear blimp?
Yeah.
Is that a tire company?
Huh?
Oh, okay. Honestly, that's a much better reaction to seeing a blimp. Just raw fear. What the hell is that?
What is this monstrosity?
Honestly, if I'd never seen a blimp before, I'd be a little afraid.
Sky whales, dude, scary.
But yeah, that wasn't part of this conversation. I just wanted to talk about blimps. Yeah, no. You see in the window. You see this is an old Elonian era device. So this is something that's not made anymore, but you've definitely seen them now and then. This is a old. I'm going to call it a defense probe. This is definitely something that's usually sent out into space, not held in a reserve. It appears to be being held in some kind of you can recognize it as a kind of mechanic bay, like where you pull in a ship or a pod or something that needs to be repaired. And it does appear to be pretty heavily damaged. There's some cracking. You can tell there's 1 or 2 sensors that have been clean broken off. And you can definitely tell it shouldn't be doing what it's doing. But you usually see these on like the edges of things like minefields or on the edges of a war zone, kind of like, hey, keep out. They'd usually be sending off a warning signal. It's like, hey, stay out or we're going to do bad things to your ship. Right. Stuff like that, ship and or body. This one appears to be pretty heavily damaged. So you assume it was malfunctioning, but it appears to have been, if not shut off, for the very least, the effects have been reversed on you specifically.
Right.
So yeah, that is where you are now. You can also see the woman in front of you. You can now actually tell how she's dressed. So she appears to be wearing more or less a powered, not a battle suit, but it is a powered suit. It has 2 extra exo arms, not like more like they don't look like they're capable of really lifting or wielding anything. More like for like small tools. They're currently holding what looks like one of them is holding a small plasma cutter, and the other is holding a tool that you don't quite recognize. But yeah, she's dressed in a more or less powered suit without a helmet. So definitely mechanic wear.
I'm assuming you're an engineer.
Yeah, I'm the mechanic around here. I'm the engineer. I build things. A lot of things to fix right now.
Yeah.
Now that you're back to normal, I take it from that comment.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's much better.
Sorry about that. This thing is a little, I'll say touchy. Normally we'd be sending out some kind of warning signal about it, but it looks like it didn't get through to you for whatever reason.
There's some jamming going on.
Do you have to locate a source?
Yeah, it's the ship docked here. That isn't mine.
Oh, Eddie's stupid ship. Okay, we'll take care of that. Yeah. We got to get Eddie off of here. I'm not sure how we're gonna do that.
So, does Eddie not like me anymore? Is that a thing? I'm confused.
Well, I'm not sure if you've met. I can't really help you there.
Okay. Right, because that might have been a different Eddie.
I also have no idea what you were talking about. Sorry.
Well, I've met an Eddie Sakamura.
Okay. Feel like now isn't the time for this.
Probably not. What do we need to do?
All right. I don't really have a plan for getting him off of here, but until then, I think it's best if there's an armory a few decks down. If we can avoid Eddie long enough to get there, then we have a pretty good chance. I know you're not really a fan of killing, but with the Sakamoras, it's not really more of a temporary setback than a death. Although if we can get him out of here without having to destroy his physical body, that would probably be preferable.
Yeah, I don't really do fighting.
I don't have a distinct problem with it, but I'm not the best fighter there is.
Yeah, I don't really fight like at all.
Okay, earlier than I thought. We'll have to be a little more creative in this then.
Yeah.
We still need to get to that armory.
All right, let's go.
All right.
Ship, you know.
Oh man, Newman's confused, isn't he?
He sure is.
All right. So yeah, you start heading down a series of hallways and things. As you walk around the sorry. Weird air bubble in my throat. I hate that. As you walk around the decks of the ship, you do start to see more and more things. Like you're seeing the big holes, like in various walls and things of solid metal, just kind of burned through. You can see kind of where metal started dripping from being molten and rehardened there. Big holes in walls and things like that. So in some places, the floor, you definitely run into one or two just bodies strewn about. Most of them are charred almost to the point of like you think if you touched them, they'd just dissolve into ash and float away.
Lovely.
You definitely are, aside from Catherine, you are the. Sorry, I just realized my brain did something subconscious with that name that I didn't pick up before.
What?
What'd I name her again? Ian? Read that back for me.
Catherine Jenkins.
That's very close to someone we know, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
That was subconscious. It's very close to our good friend Emma Catherine Jensen.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. I just picked up on that now. That was subconscious. Unimportant.
Interesting.
And very useless if you don't know us personally.
Yeah.
But
that's fine.
That's fine. You don't need to.
No.
I guarantee this is better.
Yeah.
But yes. Oh god, I forgot what I was saying. Yes, you're heading down the halls.
Yeah.
You run into several bodies, and a lot of these holes kind of burned in the metal. You do run past one or two definitely on and powered consoles if you have any interest in those, but otherwise,
I think we'd main it.
What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say we're too busy to stop and look at it.
Okay, because that definitely wasn't English.
That was me trying to
Buffering.
form a sentence out loud
Yeah.
before I had it in my brain.
You got to buffer.
That was literally buffering.
You were buffering.
That was my buffering screen.
Yeah.
It just goes
in a slight English accent. Me too. All right, yeah. So she leads you down these halls. There's a lot of rooms and a lot of decks actually as you head through this place. It's a lot. Now I'm doing it. You transferred it to me.
It's a virus.
It's a much larger satellite than you initially realized on just a surface scan and visual observation. But yeah, after a few minutes, probably actually not a few minutes, after a little while, like 20, 25 minutes, you make your way down without incident. You don't seem to run into anyone without incident to a large armored door of a sort. And she goes up to it and she kind of pulls out what looks like an ID card, kind of what you'd assume to see, like those lanyards that have those things that got the I'm gonna stop.
You like pull out.
Yeah, the lanyard ones that pull out, and then they retract. They have the little cord.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop trying to describe that because I failed miserably. I really can't talk today.
No.
She pulls out one of those and she brings it up to the door, and she kind of holds it against this thing. And after a moment, you see it flashes red, and you hear a loud beep. And she just goes, "Oh, well, that's not good. We're gonna have to get this open manually. This could take a few minutes." And she kind of reaches up to one of those exo arms that I said were on her suit, and she takes the plasma torch from one of the hands, and you can see she goes up to the center of the door where it seems to be the two doors would separate, and she just kind of starts using the plasma torch again. She starts cutting.
Oh, great.
And she just says, "If you could just keep watch for a few minutes, if you want to just keep track of this hallway, maybe the surrounding ones."
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
Keep watch.
Okay. And at about this time, you hear your radio goes on or off on. You hear the noise. The radio makes like you have an incoming transmission.
Great. I'll accept it. Okay.
You accept the transmission and you just hear over your intercom. Is everything going all right, Captain? Have you gotten everything sorted out?
We're working on it, Sam. I have met the engineer.
All right.
She's the only crew left alive.
Oh, that's certainly not preferable.
No. And Eddie Sakamura is here, and also not very friendly. So we're trying to avoid him.
All right. Not sure if there's anything I can do from out here, Captain, but I'll keep tabs on his ship if you'd like.
That would be nice.
All right, I'll inform you if any change in his position occurs. Is there anything else you'd like me to do, or?
I don't think there's much you can do from your position.
All right, just radio me if there's anything I can do from here, sir.
All right. Just make sure he doesn't. If Eddie shows up, don't let him blast any holes in you.
Yeah, I certainly, I don't plan on it.
All right, Sam. Stay safe.
You too, Captain. All right, and that goes off. Yeah, so you'd like to, how would you like to do this?
I'll put up I'll set up like a little patrol.
Okay, so you're just kind of walking
around.
How far are you going from this position at the door here?
Probably not more than like 20 feet.
Okay, yeah, so you're just kind of going back and forth down this hallway, looking down each of the others, probably.
Pretty much.
Because you're kind of at like this room is kind of in the center of like an eye-shaped hallway. So there's the one hallway in the middle, and then the two going off in each direction on each side. So you're just kind of
patrolling up to each
end
and making sure nothing's obviously coming.
All right, yeah. So yeah, you get about this continues for about 15 minutes, and you can see at this point she's about halfway up the door. It's a fairly tall door, and she had to stop for in the middle for a brief moment to go get but to set up. She pulled another tool out of her. You can see she has actually a kind of backpack, not a backpack per se, but some tool compartments built into her suit itself. And she pulls out kind of like a scaffolding so she can get up to the rest of the way. And she's about halfway up the door when on one of your patrols. When you get to the far end of the left hallway, it's one hallway, but the left side of this hallway, you can hear on the deck above. You can hear pretty heavy footfalls, just kind of slowly and deliberately making their way down the hall. It sounds like above you. Let me see if I'm saying this right. So there's the eye hallway, and then there's the hallway to the left. They're going down the hallway to the left, above you. That is the direction the staircase is in, but they're going pretty slow and deliberate.
All right.
You from the sound of the footfalls, it would seem he's also on some kind of patrol.
All right.
Assuming it is him.
Yeah. I'll make my way back to Catherine and be like, "Hey, Catherine, is Eddie a heavy walker?"
I mean, not historically. I mean, he's not the slimmest guy, but he's not. I wouldn't describe him as heavy.
Well, because I definitely heard someone walking above us. Slowly, deliberately, and loudly in the direction of the stairs.
I mean, it's not out of the question that there could be another surviving crew member, but I'd be wary.
Yeah, me too. Do I still have the
gun?
The gun.
You do still have the gun. It's still a very strange gun.
It is a strange gun. Can I didn't load it last time.
You did not. You do still have the bullet as well.
That's the bullet. See, my problem is I don't know what the gun does, so I don't know if it's actually a harmful gun.
Are you just thinking about it right now, or did you actually take it out?
I haven't taken it out
Okay.
yet. I was just thinking about it. Because I don't know if this is actually a harmful weapon, or if it's something that would be used to help someone.
Okay. As most guns are.
Well, the thing is...
No, I know what you're saying. It was just a funny way to phrase it.
Due to its biological nature, it could be...
A healing gun.
Not a healing, but some sort of you know when people cram themselves full of adrenaline and do crazy shit.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Don't worry.
It might be something.
I know, it was just a funny way to say it.
You die still, but you at least get a bang out of it.
Yeah, sure. That's how I'd phrase it. But yes, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
And you're correct. You do not know.
I don't. I'll not pull it out for now.
Okay.
I also only have one shot.
Yeah, that's true. At least currently.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah. How long have you been standing here thinking about this? Just a moment? Or...
Just a moment.
Okay. Did you run back here, or were you just purposeful stroll?
Just a purposeful stroll.
Okay. Yeah, just thinking. All right.
Yeah. But after I deliver, I'll just keep on my round.
Okay. You keeping on your rounds, or are you staying to watch that specific hallway? It is up to you. I'm just asking.
I think I'll do one more loop.
Okay.
Down the other way and then back, and then after that, I'll stay over there and monitor.
Okay, that's fair. So yeah, as you head back to you do one more round, and you don't hear anything on the other side of the hallway specifically, and you as you head back to the thing, you can hear the footfalls have gotten pretty much to the end of the thing. Yeah. The end of the hallway, if I can speak the thing. You know what I meant. And as they, oh gosh, there's so much air in my throat today. This is really bothersome. And as they reach the end, you can hear a little ways away. You can hear kind of the sound of like the door, just like the kind of open, and you can hear footfalls now on the staircase heading down. Again, not quickly, but they're definitely pretty steadily and purposefully. Yeah.
That is worrisome.
And you can hear now as it seems to step forward, not step forward, as it steps from being the deck above, just hearing it through the floor, to hearing it coming from the stairwell. It does sound specifically like metal against metal, kind of metallic.
Interesting. So it could be someone in like a power suit.
It's possible.
Could be Eddie in a power suit.
It is also
that would
possible.
be a problem.
It is also possible.
I'm gonna not like loud, but loud enough for Catherine to hear me down the hallway say, "Well, they certainly are coming down the stairs, so you might want to hurry up."
Let me just make a little roll there. Oh, you have the penetrating voice advantage. Okay. That could not be helpful.
No, that might be a problem.
That might be bad, but let's see. So I was just looking at your thing, so I was like, oh yeah. I also have gizmos. Haven't used that in a while.
I haven't. I also have a bottle of flammable liquid.
That's what? Oh yes, that's stuff.
Not an advantage.
I thought you were being vague on purpose, and it was like, oh no, it literally is called that.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just flammable.
That's true. You do only know it's flammable. Yeah. So you kind of do that, and she seems to yell. She does yell back, basically. She yells back, "I just need a few more minutes, almost there."
Right.
But as a moment after you kind of, you don't yell, but after you kind of directedly state that to her, I don't know how to phrase that right, but yeah, you call down to her. You do hear for a moment the footsteps pause, almost imperceptibly, but it is a slight pause. You can tell the rhythm of their walking has been interrupted, and they do continue at a slightly faster pace.
That's what I was hoping wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
I should have just walked.
Probably. But it happens.
So impatient.
Sometimes we make choices we regret.
Like seeing Aladdin.
That
I don't regret.
I don't know if I regret it, but I want my $12 back. So I guess yes, I do regret it.
That is direct.
That is direct regret, yes.
All right. Well, that's good. That's
What are you thinking?
I sure am thinking. I'm gonna be standing like just like peeking around the corner, so really just my head is visible to anyone in the hallway.
Okay.
So I'm not.
And you're just waiting?
So I'm not a target.
That's fair. All right. Okay, yes. So one other, actually I have to roll to see if you notice things. I can't just tell you. That is how the game works. All right, yes, that's pretty good. One more. Okay. That's also pretty good. Yeah, you do notice that very, very faintly on your, yes, right. No, left. That's correct. Very faintly on your left hand, the one of the closed sigils had started not glowing brightly, but like you can see the outline again, and they do usually disappear after their thing. You do notice that just very faintly.
Interesting.
And after a moment, if you're watching the hall, you do see after a moment. So there's a door to the stairwell, the same kind of like it has a glass pane in it, and they just kind of slide apart. I really can't talk. I'm trying my hardest. I don't know what's up today. But yeah. You briefly see a figure through there. It's a bit far away, and I mean, like obviously glass glares off of things even in the future, so you can't quite make out who it is. But after a moment, you do see a figure step behind the. Oh my gosh! You see a figure come down the stairs, and he's standing behind the glass, and it looks like they peek through. You can't make out much from here, but they peek through. And after a moment, you see the door just starts to change from the color it is, the normal gray, to this kind of hot. Red hot material. Yep. And after a moment, you just hear a loud like bang, kind of like something depressurizing as the door just kind of bursts open from the outside.
All right. At that point, I'm just gonna run to Catherine.
Okay.
And be like, "Well, he's here, and it's almost certainly Eddie."
All right. Not great. Almost through. I still need like another minute.
I don't. You might have like 30 seconds.
Okay. I'm doing as fast as I can. Can you stall him?
What do I look like to you?
A
A roadblock?
Here. She reaches into one of the pouches on her side, and she reaches her hand out, and she's holding a very large gun. Like, not very large as in like a rifle, but like a very large pistol.
Right. I'll take it and be like,
Okay. Here's a gun. Have fun.
well, I have no idea how to shoot this, but all right.
And as you take it and turn around back towards the hallway, you just hear her go like, wait, what?
Too late, I'm gone.
Yeah. Like, as you say, I have no idea how to shoot this, and turn around and book it with the gun, you just hear her like, wait, what? No!
I've never shot a gun in my life as this character.
I think that's accurate, yeah.
Neither of us have
I
shot
feel
a gun.
like you've shot a gun
Ian?
in real life?
No.
I guess that's fair.
I would have been able to shoot a shotgun, but I didn't get out of the farm on time.
Oh, gotcha. I've shot a pistol, but just for stage combat training.
I mean,
but yeah,
I shot your hand.
That's the little pellet gun. That doesn't quite count,
That's
but
not a
it's
real
close.
gun.
It's close. But yeah, yeah. So you kind of what are you doing? Are you going back to like the kind of cover behind the corner there?
I'm gonna go back to that.
Okay, so you're at the corner. You kind of like you back to the wall. You got the gun up in your good hand.
I'm like, I've seen this on a television show. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you got your gun. You got your gun up in your good hand. You do no longer have the hook arm, obviously.
Oh, thank goodness.
If you wanted it, did you want to keep it?
I didn't.
I didn't think so.
No. I'm gonna have to get that arm replaced eventually.
That's true. That is just straight up true.
I have directly not had any opportunity to do
No,
that
that's
until
accurate.
now. So, yeah.
But yeah, so you're there. You're at the corner.
Yeah. How far has he advanced down the hallway?
Oh, you are gonna peek around.
I'll peek around.
Okay, you peek around, and you can see. It looks like he's just stepping through the door. It looks like he did just obliterate this door. Reason unclear, but
I will say I can't actually attack him because I have self-defense only.
Oh, I know.
So until he
Not yet.
does
No,
anything,
yeah, I know.
can't attack him.
I know. Yeah, but you peek around the corner and he kind of steps through. Let's see. He spotted you. He does not appear to have. He makes no active suggestion that he has. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't seem like he doesn't glare at you. He just seems to be continuing moving forward. After a second, you can tell that he's wearing not a powered suit, but he has a powered exoskeleton. So it's not providing him any armor, but it is providing him significant physical strength.
Good.
Although you assume if he gets that close to you, you have a much bigger problem already.
I've always wanted a pyrokinetic to also be really, really, really strong.
I mean, it's not like crazy strong. It's on average they're somewhere between plus 10 to 15, but
it's more than that.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a lot, but it's not like he's like superhuman. It's like it's probably providing him the strength of like a pretty strong, like a strong man.
That's enough.
It is still very strong, but not like insane.
He can also burn me.
That is true. That is his main move set. We'll say
it's his shtick, if you will.
That is. I would say that actually. Yes. Yeah, and he's kind of heading down the hallway at a more purposeful stroll. He'll probably get to this intersection in like 10 seconds.
All right. I am gonna with my head still kind of popped up. Say. All right, Eddie. Hi, I'm Benjamin Newman. I don't think we're enemies.
Okay, about at that point, you are going to get cut off, unless you just keep talking over his talking, which you can do. But he's going to say something.
What's he going to say?
He kind of reaches to his side and he pulls out a small. He also pulls out a small pistol. You don't recognize this model of gun. It doesn't look. It's not as big as the one you're holding. It looks like a revolver. You can tell it has like 4 shots. You can tell just because you can see the chamber, and you can't tell if any of them are expended already, but you can tell it has 4 shots. And he kind of points it down. He does he lays his arm out and he lays the gun over it. Like the generic kind of thing.
Stabilization.
Yeah, he does stabilization. He just says he just says don't move.
I'm not moving except my mouth. My mouth is moving, but I don't think that counts. First of all, it's not very kind to point a gun at someone you've just met. I think we've just met. I'm not actually.
Yeah, he does cut you off again. He just says, "I'm coming to your position. Any hostile act will be reciprocated."
I will say I do have a gun, but I'm not going to shoot you because I don't.
Okay, and you can feel the sigil on your hand kind of glowing. Yeah, I'm gonna say that you can feel it glowing stronger. Right. Only your left hand.
Okay. I don't attack people unless they've attacked me, and even then I don't like it. However, I would like you to know that I don't actually know how to shoot a gun. And I probably shouldn't tell you that, but I'm going to. Because
Okay, you're just talking.
I'm just talking.
Yeah, you're just talking. You are stalling. That's true. You are just talking. And at this point, you see he moves the stabilization arm to he moves it behind his back, and he's still pointing the gun at you, and he's taking a few steps forward. And you briefly, can you get a will roll?
I can't, yeah. Well, not if I throw my dice. Wow, that's 4, 5, 6.
6. That's
So
good.
it's half of my normal.
Okay. You get a. I'm gonna say a little vision. You get a little vision. Once again, you can't hear anything, but for a brief moment, you see the same hallway. You see you're against the corner, and you're holding the. You're not peeking out right now. But you're not looking through your viewpoint either. Right. I should say that. You have the gun drawn, and you're just pressed against the hallway, and you can see around the corner. Eddie has the same. He's in almost the same pose. He's got the gun out, and his hands behind his back. And after a moment, he just takes his other hand out, and he just points it at the corner, kind of. And you just see this jet of, it looks almost more like plasma than fire at this point. Just this burning hot substance kind of flies from his open palm. And just the whole corner, including yourself and everything, it's just gone in like one thing. And what's left behind is this molten kind of liquid metal just dripping down. And like you see a hole in the far wall too. And then you snap back into the current thing, and you're still peeking around the corner, and you're still talking somehow as this was all going on.
Is his arm still behind his back?
It is still behind his back.
All right. Well, so I don't actually like the fact that you have your arm behind your back. I'm going to take that as a threat, and I'm going to go, and I'm just going to run down the hallway.
You say all that?
Say all of that.
Okay, yeah. I do want you to make me a little dodge roll.
I will.
With a hidden plus. You don't even need the hidden plus. Wow.
No, that's
Actually, no. You did.
7, 8, okay, that's a
failure by one, but with the hidden plus,
yeah.
it's plenty. So yeah, you just kind of take off in a sprint. I'm gonna. Right as like a second after that, you feel just this huge burst of warm air behind you, and you hear like this, and you also hear this like too loud like pop pop of like two rooms. It sounds like depressurizing.
Oh, good.
As like their seal is broken through with this big thing. You did actually manage to stall him for a surprisingly long amount of time just because you kept talking. That's not how I thought you would stall him, but you really did just keep talking.
I literally didn't know what else to do. I was like, I have a gun. I can't shoot him.
No, that's fine.
I'm just gonna say words at him until something happens.
Okay, yeah, you do hear more heavy kind of just these bum 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 bum, this metal footfall kind of.
Catherine, we're running now.
Okay, you see Catherine into the hallway, and she goes, 2 more seconds. I have it open. Just need to go through the sequence.
I didn't shoot him. I don't know how.
Great.
I don't think it would help either way.
Okay, so you see that she's put down the plasma torch, and she has kind of like she has the 2 robot arms kind of clenched between here, and she has her arms kind of grabbed here too. And you can see she's just pulling against it, and you can see the 2 robot arms are kind of separating, kind of like how the jaws of life do to open things. And this door, you hear this loud, horrible metallic kind of just as like this thing fights against its hinges. They're just kind of forcing it open. They burn through the locks, and now it's just being pulled open. And yeah, you're about halfway down the hall to that, and you do hear clearly like these footsteps come. They're clearly at the corner of the hallway now, and he is going to shoot at you.
Yep.
And you're not facing him, so I don't think you can dodge this.
I don't think I can.
But he might miss.
He might.
He's going to take 2 shots. Well, actually, one. It's 1 shot, but 2 bullets are being fired. Because he's rate of fire 2. Yeah, no, that's quite bad.
That's good for me.
That is good for you. It's a little disappointing. I do actually need the gun malfunction table.
Oh wow, that's quite bad.
That is quite bad. Okay. This isn't your fault, but just for fun, why don't you roll these 2 little D's?
All right,
or your own 2 D's, yeah.
I'll roll mine. Oh, that's a 6.
That's 8.
7, 8.
Okay. So you hear the click of a trigger being pulled really clearly behind you, and then nothing, and then another like it's not going. And after a moment, you hear 4 it's almost simultaneous. It sounds like one loud explosion, but you can tell there's 4 smaller booms just boom.
Right. And
you just hear this bang and the sound of metal flying. And actually, I need to roll for. Actually, you do take okay, 7 impaling. You have 60 R, 1 impaling, 2 damage.
All right.
So you take 2 damage as this small like chunk of metal just flies and it hits you. It hits you pretty square in the shoulder. There's just this small piece of metal you can tell just kind of shot through you, and you see smaller chunks of metal kind of hit the hallway around you. They look like it's the same color and material as the gun he was holding, and you hear like just like a, ah!
So I think his gun may have exploded.
It's quite possible. You can turn around and look if you'd like, or you can keep running.
I'm gonna keep running.
Yeah, that's fair. That is actually the worst thing that could have happened for him.
I'm glad.
That felt like a planned event. It wasn't written. I don't like that. His gun.
His gun.
You can't shoot it now.
I can't.
Okay.
What's he gonna do?
So you get almost there. You can see Catherine has already kind of managed to scoot her way inside. The door's not open very far, just enough that you could assumably make it in.
Right.
Yeah. So you can feel the sigil on your hand glowing brighter once again, and you're almost at the doorway. I'm gonna say you can tell he's gonna shoot something. Make a dodge roll to dodge through the door, or you're gonna get hit.
All right. Here goes. That was really bad.
That's
a 12, 13, 14, 15.
That is quite bad.
That's real bad.
Well, I guess you need a few more dice. Sorry. You have good armor.
I do.
Your armor is specifically for burning and crushing and exploding.
Yeah.
So burning is one of these.
Yeah. That's a lot of dice.
Okay, can you take 43 burning damage for me? What's your DR? 36?
Yeah.
So take... I can do math. 43, 9?
So I'm at -3.
And I do need you to be rolled to be conscious at a hidden bonus. So you have fit, so your roll is 11.
Yeah.
And a hidden bonus. Okay.
All right.
Oh, you made it. Never mind. You rolled a 6, so you're fine. So just as you kind of try to jump in and you kind of misgauge the shrapnel that hit you, kind of threw you off balance, and you're kind of staggering. It hit you harder than you thought something would hit you, but it's a pretty solid chunk of metal, and it's pretty heavy in you now too. And as you stumble forward, you kind of try to leap through the thing, and you misgauge the distance just a little bit, and you smack your shoulder on the side of the door, and it stalls you just a second too long, and you just feel this fireball kind of hit the ground next to you and just kind of expand from there, just and the whole hallway just gets burningly hot, and you feel this like your armor held, but like it wasn't enough to protect you from just the sheer heat of this, and you feel your back kind of just this burning heat kind of hurt. Just go over you in a wave, and you're just burned by this, and then you make it the rest of the way inside the door. And as soon as you're through, you see Catherine is just jamming on some of these she's kind of just I guess that's the right word. She's jamming down a bunch of buttons on this console here. And after a moment, actually, are you watching her or are you watching the door?
I'm watching the door.
Okay. So do you still have the gun drawn? Or...
Yeah, I'm still holding it.
Okay. I was just curious. So yeah, after like 6 more seconds, you see Eddie walk up to the not walk up to the door, but up down the hallway, and he's looking down clearly through this entrance of the doorway. Right. And you can also see, you can see that where he had his right hand before, there is now just this kind of charred, right where his wrist would end, there's this charred kind of stump.
That's good.
You can see there's a lot of blood on the surrounding clothing, but he's not currently bleeding. You assume he's cauterized the wound.
That makes me feel good.
But he's missing a hand there, and you can see the exoskeleton also just kind of abruptly ends, and there's small chunks of metal sticking out sharply there. And he's just kind of holding it to himself. And as he looks down the door, he raises his hand one more time. You have a chance to act first if you like.
I'd just like to get out of the way.
Okay.
So I'll just move to towards Catherine.
Yeah, that's not going to be a dodge since he's attacking next turn. But Catherine is still pressing buttons, and after a moment, you see. Yeah. Oh, oof, okay. After a moment, you see this blue, very small flame, roughly. What's that? Like a tennis ball? Yeah. Roughly tennis ball sized, kind of hit. Go through, fly forward, and then fall straight down and hit the floor, and it just kind of sinks through, really like butter, really, just less sinks through and more plummets straight through, and you just hear like thump, 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 and it just kind of seems to keep going.
That seems like a very bad thing that just happened.
And after a moment, Catherine presses one final button, and you hear the door once again go, and the metal bulkheads close against each other. And
Do
the
I still
door-
have my eyebrows?
Huh? Oh, you still have like the whole suit on.
Oh,
So-
right.
So your face is covered,
Dang.
yeah.
That would have been funny.
Okay, but yeah. Or it's back on anyway. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, no, your suit actually is intact. It just it managed to hurt you through it because heat.
Because he does permeate.
Heat does permeate.
All right. Well, how far down do you think that little ball of fire is going to go?
Well, considering we're only 2 decks from the bottom, not very.
Huh.
But yeah, let's we don't have a lot of time. He'll get through that door.
Yeah.
He will get through that door.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you see the arsenal, the armory, more or less. I don't know why I use 2 different words. They both start with A. That's why I use them. Yeah, you see the armory before you. You see it's pretty big. Think like what you'd averagely. That's a horrible description. I was gonna say like an average warehouse. And I was like, warehouses come in so many sizes.
There's not really.
Think like a school gymnasium size.
All right.
Like that's more average. Yeah, like a school gymnasium, like a basketball court. There we go. It's like that. It's roughly that size. And you can see there's just a wall. It's just tons of different kinds of weapons. Like there's rifles and machine guns and pistols and things like that. And there's 2 grav tanks in here, along with several kind of artillery things just set here in the floor. What are the other ones called? I don't. They're not important. There's a ton of different things here. If you wanted to search for stuff, you can see there's at least one small portion of the wall that is entirely melee weapons, and also more suits of armor, powered and unpowered.
Well, here's your pistol back, by the way.
Yeah, she just kind of takes it and she kind of looks at the clip and she just kind of sighs and just puts it back. Like she doesn't say anything to you, but like you know.
I did stole him though.
Yeah, you did. Okay, I need to go get suited up. If you're gonna get suited up, now's the time.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty suited.
Yeah, she doesn't respond to that. She's just kind of booking it for the far end of the room. You can't tell exactly what.
Right.
Would you like to look for anything in here, or are you just kind of whatever?
I mean, I don't think I'll find it, but I would like to see if I can find any more ammo for my weird gun.
Okay, that's
Or anything like similar to it, even if it's not like
unlikely. But you can
connected.
search. Do you have a search skill?
No, we've
Okay.
gone over this.
Yeah, we have gone over this. Give me a perception -4 to look. Then. Yep. That actually is a success by nothing. So yeah, you look around. You kind of go. You find where all the ammunition is, and you kind of do a quick scan through all the boxes and everything. You don't find anything like this.
I didn't think I would, but all right, that's fine. Yeah, I don't think I want anything in here.
Okay. Yeah. So you kind of search through all that stuff, and you turn around again, and you can see the door is slowly also shifting to that kind of bright red hot metal material. It's not changing material. Sorry, you know what I mean though.
I'd say we have very little time left, so
Yeah. You look around and you don't see Catherine anywhere.
good. Just me.
You're not sure. Yeah, she escaped. Of course.
She went down the hole.
The whole it's like a tennis ball.
She got very small.
No, she didn't.
She was looking for a shrink ray, and she got very small.
I like your idea, but no. Yeah. So after a moment, yeah, you have a few more seconds if you'd like to do anything else.
Can I get behind one of the grav tanks?
You certainly can. 1 or 2.
2.
Okay, you get behind 2. And you're just kind of taking cover there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after a second, you hear kind of the same kind of. You hear the room kind of depressurize, and you hear the loud. Well, it's not quite loud this time. Actually, it's more of a kind of steady dripping and just hissing of metal, just liquefying and dripping away.
That's not good.
Yeah. And after a few more moments, you hear kind of the footfall step into the room, and he's not saying anything, but you can tell. I mean, you're not looking, but you can tell he's just, from the fact that he stopped moving, he's just scanning the room. And after another second, you hear, not my dice. Okay, yes, that was a 1. Is that good or bad?
I don't know.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah, so you hear one of the grav tanks start up, and you look over and you can see that it's the first grav tank, the one that you're not hiding behind. And you see it starts driving forward, just at what you assume is the fastest speed it can muster, and you hear it just, and you hear it just strike solidly against one of the walls. Unless you had specifically turned to watch, but you would have to be out of cover.
No, I'm gonna stay undercover.
Okay. Yeah, and you hear one of the you hear the panel on it open. And what's the word? I cannot talk for the life of me right now. I don't know what's up. Yes. So you hear the panel on it open, and you hear somebody jump out and kind of run towards your position. And you see your Catherine come around the corner, and she just grabs you by the arm. She says, "All right, he's pinned, but he won't stay there for long. We need to get out."
All right,
that was just as vague as it sounded. Because from what you saw, this was the only entrance to this room.
Yeah. Lead on, I suppose.
All right, let's get out of here. But yeah, so you would see she kind of takes your hand, and you see she's grabbed a helmet, and she kind of, as you run by this the stack of armor, she grabs a helmet that seems to match her set, and she just kind of puts it on, and it kind of, you hear it seal and lock into place. And as you run towards it seems you're running back towards the center of the room now, and you can see there is the grav tank kind of just pushed against this doorway here. You can't tell from this angle if there's anybody who is struck by it or under it or anything like that.
Right.
But you can see it's kind of jammed against the door. It seems it's not filling the hole that was now made, but it's blocking it at the very least. And you can, as you run closer to it, you can feel the sigil in your hand getting warm once again. But as you get towards that center where that hole was formed with that thing, Catherine seems to pull out one of the guns that she grabbed as you as you ran past the wall of weapon racks. And she kind of points it down ahead of you, and she shoots. And you see this this bolt of small, we'll say they're kind of like a magenta cyan kind of color, like small bolts of like plasma almost, kind of shoot into the floor and quickly briefly stick to it and then flash for just a moment. And then just boom, and they explode. And so there's a pretty sizable hole in the floor now. And Catherine just kind of, as you run closer, Catherine kind of, unless you specifically resist, which you'll make a roll for, she kind of scoops you up, fireman carry in one arm. And like, she doesn't seem to struggle with this at all. I mean, obviously, also because she's in a powered suit.
Right.
But she also does seem pretty strong just from a quick glance. And she jumps down the hole. And she does fire once again at the floor as you fall through. And you see as you step through, as you fall through this other room, you can see that it's one of the cargo bays. You can't tell what exactly is in the cargo bay. It's all boxed up, but you can tell it's fairly full. And a lot of the boxes have you don't recognize exactly what they are, but you can recognize them as warning symbols on them.
Let's see.
Yeah. And so as she shoots at the floor again, you hear this loud rush of air as the atmosphere quickly leaves the thing. And looking down, you can see that she's punctured a hole into the outer hull of the vessel. I have taken note of the time. We're winding down. I'm just letting you know that, and the audience. But yeah, and you see, I mean, her pace doesn't quicken that much, but as the vacuum pulls you out, you do accelerate. And as you float out into space here, you can see once again that small blue kind of ball that Eddie seems to have shot before. And it seems to have grown, not significantly, but like sizably. It's now where it was before, the size of a tennis ball. It's now roughly the size of like, I don't have an approximation for that. Like one of those blow up beach balls.
Like a medicine ball?
No, bigger than that, like this big.
Oh.
I don't know what size that would denote. I can't think about a yoga ball, like a yoga ball.
Yeah.
There's a size thing, like a yoga ball. And as you watch, it does quickly seem to get larger and larger, and it gets up to the size of like oh no, I didn't think of size. It's like a 10-meter diameter. It's big. It's pretty big.
Pretty large.
Pretty big. I can't think of anything that large that's also circular. That's my problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and after a moment, it seems to almost just as quickly as it fell, seem to rush back upwards. And you see it stalls for a moment as it presses against the deck, and you see the bottom deck just kind of liquefy. And that was interesting. Bottom deck liquefy, and it kind of raises up another level, and you see it quickly dissipates after it gets through that part. And you can see almost into the weapon, the armory now, and you see like the first grav tank and the second grav tank kind of floating out, and all the guns are obviously strewn off their rack. They were pulled off by the rush of depressurization, and you can see Eddie has also been pulled through here, and you can tell he is only wearing an exoskeleton and not a pressurized suit. And as you watch, you quickly see motions of struggle for a good time. You can't see a lot from this far away. You're a good 30, 40 meters away now, but you do see he struggles for a good amount of time, and then he does appear to cease to move.
Well, he got off the ship.
That was almost a one-liner. Almost.
I'm not awake enough to come up with
But yeah, you obviously are in a pressurized suit, as is Catherine. And after a moment, you hear over your radio, "Sir, I see that your signal has left the vessel. Would you by any chance need a pickup?"
You know, Sam, I think I would.
All right. And Sam flies over, and he picks both of you two up. Well, I mean, he drives up, and then you are able to get in.
Right.
You're actually pretty badly hurt right now, but
I am.
Yeah, you are in negative. You've been worse, but it's still not pleasant.
No, it isn't.
As you step into the ship, Catherine basically asks if she has permission to set another course.
Go ahead.
All right. We just probably shouldn't stick around here for too long.
That's
So,
a good idea.
actually, she appears to set a course right for the asteroid type moon thing that's orbiting the satellite. She seems to set a course for a location specifically on the surface, like specific latitude and longitude that you obviously didn't have before. And as she turns to you, after the coordinates are set, she just says, "All right, so let's get this figured out right away. What do you want in that new arm of yours?" And she kind of pulls out this set of what looks like mechanical gear and tools and cybernetic supplies. And she sets them all on the table, and that's about where we'll end the session.
Wow. That's exciting.
I
like
Yeah.
her. She seems nice.
That session got a little out of hand. It got a little messier in the middle because things didn't quite go how I thought they would, but it's been worse.
Yeah. That was good.
Yeah, I was a little sleepier than I meant to be, but my talking is just the problem. I don't know why I'm stumbling over my words.
It's just one of those days.
That was a pretty decent session.
I agree.
We ended about where I wanted to. We got a little less far, but that's fine.
It's alright.
You really are tired.
I really am, and I don't
You
know
should have gotten up
why.
later.
I should have, but I didn't want to be late. I really shouldn't have worried about it.
Think if there's anything I forgot. You were like 45 minutes early.
I know.
That wasn't a problem. I was just saying. We guessed the ages of actors for half an hour.
We did. Mostly accurately.
No.
Well,
We were up in the ballpark.
Yeah.
We only got like 3 right on.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's about it. I realize I haven't been giving you points for the last few sessions just because I've forgotten. If you want to increase your thing, you've gotten like 20 points.
All right.
Unspent for your next session. Also, you can think about that question for your arm if you'd like. In between sessions. Yeah, as always, thanks for joining us. Check the links in the description for our Instagram and our Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay, those are the two. I'm not the social media. I'm just the video controller.
We only have Instagram, Twitter.
Also, check if you're interested to look at our Stitcher. We'll be uploading there as well as soon as this stream ends and we're able to download and upload it there. If you're ever driving or something like that and you need something where you can keep the app open, Stitcher's a pretty good platform for that. It's just another place we'll be uploading. We'll keep uploading on here as well. But yeah, thank you for joining us. As always, if you know anybody who you think would enjoy the stream, we'd love to have more of an audience. And as Ian always says, there's more in the chat for you to do if there's more people in the chat to talk with. But yeah, that was this week. We're good for next week, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see you again next Friday, same time, same place. For those of you tuning into the live stream, thank you for joining us. This was Roll Out of Bed, where no matter what time it is,
You just woke up.
I was your Game Master Nev.
Oh yeah.
Were you?
I barely.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again next week.
See you next.